You're the thief. My roommate, Cassie said, pointing at me in front of our landlord, even though she was the one who had stolen $900 in rent money from my bedroom. Mr. Howard stood by the door holding a late fee notice while Cassie filled her eyes with fake tears. I saw her near my purse, and I'm missing $200 too. I stood beside the kitchen table, palms cold, throat dry, heart pounding so loudly that I could barely hear myself speak. I had no evidence. Only the empty envelope I had left in my desk drawer. I didn't scream in my defense that day. I simply watched Cassie, noticed the faint smile hiding at the corner of her mouth, and made a decision. The following month, Cassie wasn't standing in front of me. She was sitting in the back of a police car. I had moved into that suburban apartment in Columbus, Ohio 2 years earlier. After leaving a job in New York, I wanted somewhere with fewer sirens at night, free parking, and a grocery store 10 minutes away. I found Cassie through a housing group. She was about my age, worked for an event planning company, and seemed so friendly during our first meeting that I felt reassured after seeing only the receipt for her background check. The first few months were genuinely good. On Friday nights, we ordered takeout, watched old sitcoms on late-night TV, and stood beneath the refrigerator light arguing over the final slice of cheesecake. On Saturdays, I attended my nephew Ethan's Little League baseball games, and Cassie occasionally joined me. Sipping coffee in the bleachers, she would say, "Your suburban life looks like a family commercial." I laughed, because I had no idea that someone inside my own home was studying my habits. I worked as a project coordinator for a healthcare software company. My mornings were consumed by board meetings, budget updates, and client calls. My salary was decent, but after student loans, a car payment, and my mother's medical bills, I tracked every dollar. Mr. Howard normally accepted online payments, but his tenant portal went down for several months. He told us we could pay by cashier's check or cash. Cassie often volunteered to deliver both portions of the rent. For the first 2 months, everything went smoothly. I gave her my share and she returned with a receipt. Then small things began disappearing. $10, a new bottle of perfume, a Target gift card from my desk. I blamed myself. Maybe I had spent the money. Maybe I had misplaced the other things. Cassie suggested the same. "You've been really stressed lately, Maya. Yesterday you left your coffee in the microwave." He was right. I was exhausted. We were launching a new project, my schedule was packed with board meetings, and I stayed up until 2 in the morning reviewing spreadsheets. So when I first found the rent envelope empty, I wondered whether I had put the money somewhere else. But it was $900, 9 crisp $100 bills I had personally withdrawn and counted. When I questioned Cassie, she immediately frowned. "Are you accusing me? I'm only asking whether you went into my room." She jumped from her chair, opened her purse, and threw its contents across the table. Then she suddenly announced that she was missing $200. She called Mr. Howard immediately and invented a story in front of me, claiming I was under financial pressure, often forgot things, and might have taken money from her purse. Mr. Howard didn't call the police, but he issued me a written warning. If I failed to replace the rent, I could face eviction. I withdrew another $900 from my emergency savings. At 3 that morning, the apartment was completely silent. White parking lot lights cast stripes across the floor through the blinds. Late-night television played on mute while I sat at the kitchen counter holding a cup of coffee. In that 3 a.m. silence, I suddenly remembered something. Cassie had described the color of the empty envelope. "The blue rent envelope was on your desk, right?" she had asked. I had never told her it was blue. The following morning, I called my cousin Elena, an attorney. She made it clear that I couldn't place a camera in the bathroom or Cassie's bedroom. Recording a shared area could also raise legal and lease-related issues. The safest option was a motion-activated camera without audio inside my own bedroom, aimed only at my door and desk. I reviewed the lease and notified Mr. Howard in writing that my belongings were disappearing and that I planned to monitor my private room. I didn't accuse Cassie. I placed a small camera on my bookshelf, partially concealed behind a picture frame. It showed only my bedroom door, desk, and drawer. Then I prepared another envelope containing $900. I recorded every bill's serial number, photographed the money, and left the envelope inside the drawer. I paid my actual rent directly to Mr. Howard with a cashier's check. The money in my drawer was bait. My own savings fully documented. The first week passed. Nothing happened. During the second week, Cassie asked, Are you giving me the rent this time or paying it yourself? I shrugged. The money's ready. That evening, I returned late from Ethan's baseball practice. Cassie sat on the couch watching television and smiled as if everything were normal. Nothing in my bedroom appeared disturbed, but the desk drawer wasn't completely closed. I stepped into the bathroom and opened the camera app. At 7:14 p.m., Cassie appeared in the hallway. She pushed open my bedroom door, entered and walked directly to the desk. No searching, no hesitation. She opened the drawer, removed the envelope, counted the money and slipped it into her sweatshirt pocket. Then she returned the empty envelope and closed the drawer. My hands trembled, but not from fear this time. I finally had proof. I uploaded copies of the video to cloud storage, sent one to Elena and called Mr. Howard. We didn't confront Cassie ourselves. The police arrived, watched the footage, recorded the serial numbers and questioned her separately. At first she denied taking anything. Then she claimed the money belonged to her. When an officer matched the bills found in her purse to my list, all the color drained from her face. But the real twist was still coming. The officers also found my gift card, perfume, and 2 opened envelopes addressed to other tenants inside her closet. Investigators later discovered that she had previously taken money orders from Mr. Howard's rent drop box and allowed discrepancies to be blamed on tenants' payment records. My complaint hadn't uncovered a single theft. It exposed a pattern lasting several months. As the officers escorted her outside, Cassie turned toward me. You set me up. I remained inside the doorway. No, Cassie. I only let my room show everyone what you did when you entered it. The police car pulled out of the parking lot. There was no triumphant music, no movie-like sense of victory. Only the refrigerator humming and my coffee growing cold. Mr. Howard withdrew the warning, corrected my tenant file and apologized. A few weeks later I left the apartment. My new place was smaller but brighter. A second-floor unit near Ethan's baseball field. On my first morning there I opened the window, made coffee and turned on my laptop for another board meeting. There was cash inside my desk drawer. But this time I didn't feel the need to check it repeatedly. The room was quiet. The door was closed. And for the first time that silence didn't feel threatening. It felt like my own space. If Maya's courage to trust her instincts and uncover the truth kept you watching, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you more emotional stories of betrayal, resilience, and justice. Thank you sincerely for staying until the end and for being such a valued part of our growing community.